Hey, biology class, this is Mr. Olive here, and we're going to start a division on mitosis and meiosis, which is cell division. We're going to start a unit on cell division, and I'm going to just kind of walk through a PowerPoint that's designed to kind of give you some vocabulary terms to write down. We're going to come back to each of these vocabulary terms and address them. So here we go. Just the whole point, just some brief background on this. In 2005, scientists finished mapping out the 25,000 genes in the human genome. So Human Genome Project was a project that took place through the 90s, and we're the beneficiaries of it and have learned a lot. And it all comes down to the 23 chromosomes you get from your mom and the 23 chromosomes you get from your dad. We get these chromosomes from mom and dad, and they're in every cell in our body. The cells that are regular cells that comprise your skin, your hair, your nose, your larynx, your esophagus, these are what's called somatic cells, and we'll get into that. So a word that you'll want to copy down is diploid. If you look closely, you'll see it there, D-I-P-L-O-I-D, diploid. And that our diploid number is 46. That's the number of chromosomes that we have in most cells in our body. And then the other term is haploid. You'll want to write that down too, haploid. And our haploid number is 23. We have 23 chromosomes in, males have 23 chromosomes contained in each sperm, and females in each egg, 23 chromosomes. Not everything has the same number of chromosomes. So our state tree, Oregon State Tree, has a diploid number of 26, the Douglas fir, and a haploid number of 13. So every cell in the pollen or every cell in the seed has 13. And every cell in the trunk, the leaves, has 26. So here's a species of shrimp that has a diploid number of 86. That means every cell in its body has 86 chromosomes except for its sperm or its eggs. How many would it have in its sperm or its egg? In other words, what's its haploid number? And its haploid number would be half of 86. So 43. Here's a rattlesnake fern. Its diploid number is 184. So you can't always tell how complex an organism is by its number of chromosomes. I consider a human to be far more complicated than a fern, but yet a fern has 184 chromosomes. Its haploid number would be half of that. Okay, a Greatdane and a Chihuahua have the exact same number of chromosomes in every cell in their body, 78. The sperm and the egg in a dog would have half of that. Okay. So sperm whale, if its sperm has 24 chromosomes, what would its diploid number be? How many chromosomes would it have, say, in a pec fin or in its eyeball? Its diploid number would be 48. Okay, ordinary cells are called somatic cells. You're going to want to copy that term down, somatic cells. And then eggs and sperm, the haploid cells, those are called gametes. So if you're going to copy down some terms just from this little video that I'm making, you should copy down the term somatic or somate, gamete, haploid, diploid, the term chromosome. Okay. So if a carrot seed has, a regular carrot's diploid number is 18, then how many chromosomes would its seed have? If a rabbit's diploid number is 44, its sperm or its egg, its haploid number would be half that, 22. This just shows you, these are a couple of basketball players that were in the NBA when I was in high school, Manute Bol and Spud Webb. And they have, it's kind of interesting, if you map out the human genome, they share 99.99% of the exact same genes, as do you and as do I. We all share almost the exact same genetic code. The difference is very slight. Their diploid number, as shown by the number 2n here, 2n stands for diploid, is 46. Their haploid number, as shown by 1n, is 23, as is yours and as is mine. Some other terms that I'd like you to copy down. One is trait. Okay. And we're going to get into the others later. F1 generation, F2 generation, dominant, recessive, and allele. Those are all terms that are coming up. Okay. Homolog. Okay, when the sperm from your dad and the egg from your mom come together, the chromosomes that match up, that either work together or cancel one another out, depending on whether they're dominant or recessive, those are called homologs. Okay, homologous pairs. So we get one chromosome from mom and one from dad, and those two come together to form the diploid number. This is a little tiny excerpt from the Human Genome Project. That just shows each one of those little tiny digits there represents a gene. And we'll get into that. I don't expect you to know all that, but it's just wanted you to see how complicated the Human Genome Project really is. Drosophila fruit flies. The Drosophila fruit fly is an organism that scientists have studied at great length when doing genetic studies, and for a number of reasons. But one of the many is that their eyeball is a sex-linked trait. So the males have one color eye, the females have another color eye. So it's easy to separate them. And we learned about something that we'll learn about later, which is sex-linked traits. Genetics is pretty amazing stuff, and we're just getting started. So mitosis and meiosis. That's this next unit.